hopefully Roxy will quiet down. Okay, so what we're going to look at right now is different strategies for solving math problems, okay?
Okay.
And so I'm going to give you a few examples, and then I'm going to have you work on these. And then also, I know you're starting to work on multiplication, right? And your times tables and stuff. And so I was just, first of all, I was going to show you this with nines because they were the hardest one for me ever to remember. But if you start with 0, 9, which is 9, right? Where your multiples of 9 start. And if you write a 0 in front of it, the way I always remembered it is the number on the left always increases by 1, and the number on the right always decreases by 1. Do you see that? Do you see how we start with 0, 9 and we end with 9, 0?
Mm-hmm.
And how the second one is 18, and if you flip it around, you get
81.
Mm-hmm. Which is 9 times 9. So
So this is all the answers for this?
yeah, so 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 2 is
17.
18. 1, 8.
Oh.
That's a bad 8, sorry. And then 9 times 3.
27.
9 times 4.
86.
9 times 5.
35.
9 times 6.
34.
9 times 7.
63.
9 times 8.
72.
9 times 9.
81.
9 times 10.
90.
And you see how look, so we're going to end with 9, 0. We start with 0, 9. It goes 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You see that? So just something for you to remember. Okay, so
That's. I never thought of that.
yeah, so hopefully it helps you. So what we're going to look at now is, well, first off, we're going to look at a doubling, right? So you already know about doubling, huh?
Don't.
So if I have 5 plus 5 equals what? So I know that 10 is the doubling of 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is also will help you when you get to multiplication because
5 times.
5 times 2, right? Okay, so you already got this, good. And then you can do something else that's called doubling plus 1, okay? So,
Is that where you separate?
no, not yet. 5 plus 5 we know is 10, right? But if we need to solve for 11, we know that 5 plus 5 is 10, so 5 plus 5 plus 1 is what?
11.
Is 11, perfect. And then, so you know how, like you just said, sometimes you can break it apart. So if I'm doing 7 plus 4 equals what? Then what would I want to do to break it apart?
You could draw a matrix and separate it from there.
Okay, you could do it that way. The way I'm thinking is called the get to 10 method. Okay? So I take, what would it take for 7 to get to 10?
3.
3. So I take 3 away from this 4, and I make it 10 plus 1 equals,
11.
which is the same thing as 7 plus 4 equals 11, right? Next, we're going to do doubling minus 1. So it's kind of like this one where we did 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. But if we're solving for, say, 9, if we're doing 9, just to keep with the example, then we know that 5 plus 5 is 10. So then we would subtract 1 to get to 9. Okay, good job. And then for subtraction, one of the ones that I really like is if I have 7 minus 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Equals. Then you take the lower number, or you take the subtractant, what's being taken away, and you count up. So I start at 4, 5, 6, 7, 3. So 7 minus 4 is 3. Okay, so can you try and do these ones?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you can use that pencil. And while you're doing them, tell me if you know which method it is.
7.
Is it working?
This is the plus 1, add on 1.
Okay, good. Now, but what you could have also done there, right? You just did 7 plus 7 equals 14, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is 7 plus 7 plus 1?
Oh.
15. So that one, you answered it right, but you could have done the doubling plus 1. Okay, so go ahead and do that one. This one you can either do the get to 10 method or the matrix. Good job. Okay. Perfect. Okay, now do that one. Perfect. Nice job. So these are just like some methods to help you, like when you're doing math, it's having different ways to do things helps you understand the process better and understand the numbers better. So it's not just, oh, I'm memorizing this. Does that make sense? So you're not just memorizing that 5 plus 5 is 10, you understand why 5 plus 5 is 10. And also how you can work with that. Does that make sense? Okay, good job. You did awesome. You got an A plus. We're probably going to start looking into some fractions and multiplication stuff more a little bit in the future.